With strong characters, out-of-the-blue plot twists, nail-biting action, and gripping storylines, Longmire has been killing it. Rated as one of the best shows on A&E, Longmire has garnered quite the attention. This is why you will find a lot of people waiting desperately for Season 7. Though the show has done a good job of delivering us amazing moments, it's also delivered some of the most controversial ones too, which we'll be covering in today's video, so keep watching. Vic's pregnancy. Spoiler alert, in the final moments of Season 5, we hear Vic break the news of her pregnancy. Obviously, the news is shocking, and it takes a minute for the fans, as well as Sheriff Walter Longmire, to wrap their heads around it. Reeling from shock, everyone spent the next couple of days imagining what a new baby would mean for the show. Will there be a baby shower? What's the gender? Who is the father? Unfortunately, we never really find the answers to those questions, since her pregnancy proves to be short-lived, and it's not pretty at all. In Season 6, Episode 3, Thank You, Victoria, Vic finds herself facing her most challenging battle yet. She lands herself directly in a showdown with her longtime nemesis, Chance Gilbert, an on and off bad guy on the show whose principle of life runs something along the lines of live free or die a criminal. This episode starts off with a simple jury selection for one of Walt's cases. Chance here makes his escape from his own trail. Out and about in the free world, he focuses his efforts on killing Walt Longmire and Vic Moretti. Since he is more of Vic's problem, it makes sense that the writers had her take him down. However, a lot of fans agree that they would have achieved that end game without having Chance shoot Vic, taking the life of her unborn child. Vic's pain is beyond unmeasurable, and seeing her break down makes you question, was it really worth it all? Vic's history. Though Vic is a very likable character among fans of the show, she comes with skeletons in her closet. One of those is her history in Philadelphia, where Vic is originally from. During her time as a law enforcement officer in the city, Vic sparked up an affair with a married man. Her relationship with a senior officer, aka her boss, Ed Gorski, proved to be a mistake for a lot of reasons, and not for the ones you might think. The two broke up in 2011 after Vic chose to prioritize her profession over her love life. She turned Gorski's partner, Donaldo, into the authorities for breaking the law. Following his arrest, Donaldo committed suicide, which Gorski, his best friend, did not take well at all. The incident pushed Vic to run out of town, all the way to Absaroka County, and that's where Gorski followed her. Unable to move on from his friend's death, Gorski swore revenge on Vic, which led to some serious stalking and showdowns. Though the show is known for operating in the grayscale when it comes to morality, this one seems a bit too much. Was it really necessary for the writers to pit two lovers against each other? Fans don't think so. They say that there was no need for things to turn this ugly. Being shot by your best friend. With a number of bad guys walking around in the show, being shot by your best friend should be the last thing to happen to anyone in the county, but it did. Henry Standing Bear, played by Lou Diamond Phillips, is the godfather of Sheriff Longmire's daughter, Katie Longmire, on the show. Understandably, the two are very close friends, with Henry tagging along Longmire's side as he keeps the streets of Absaroka safe from crime. Given his position, he ends up landing in some questionable positions, such as in Season 4, Episode 8. In the episode, a man is threatening to sexually assault Gabriella at a reservation. He seems dead set on killing Henry too, but somehow, Gabriella manages to find herself a gun and shoots the potential rapist. At the sound of the gunshot, Sheriff Longmire, who is not too far away, comes running to the scene. With impulsivity guiding him, he takes out his gun and shoots in the dark, which is the last thing you should be doing as a sheriff. He manages to shoot Henry in the leg, and as a result of his friend's actions, Henry is left pulling out a .30 caliber from his leg, which he wouldn't have to if Longmire weren't acting out of his jurisdiction. It really makes you question Longmire's competency as a sheriff. With this incident, the relationship between the two is definitely going to be strained. Henry as a hostage. It seems like Henry does not have the best of luck when it comes to walking about in the show. He finds himself in another sticky situation, this time as a hostage in Season 6, Episode 2. Longtime Longmire enemy, Malachi Green Graham, decides to get payback from Henry for scarring his face. His method of revenge involves tying Henry to literal stakes under the blazing heat of the sun in a desert-looking place. Having him barbecued to death would have definitely made for sweet revenge. However, things don't turn out that way. We get to see Henry painfully struggle as Graham's gang members mock him with water bottles. The entire scene is really hard to watch. We can only imagine how Henry is putting up with all of this. And yet, it gets worse as Marilyn shows up. Fans expect her to save the poor guy, but she too joins in on the fun. Dangling her Coke can over a tied-down Henry, she chooses to leave him, leaving it up to the spirit to be more apt. Thankfully, Longmire runs into her and sways her with a wad of cash to reveal Henry's location. However, when he arrives, Henry's long gone, who broke loose when the ground softened because of Therian. Regardless of the happy ending, that entire torture scene did not need to be so detailed. It certainly started some serious questions among fans. Deputy Branch Connolly. This is one character that is on almost everyone's hate list. Played by Bailey Chase, the deputy see as a rather questionable man on the show. He hails from a reputable rich family in the area, hence, as expected, he comes with all the ego and arrogance you would expect from someone with that kind of background, which is why we are also not surprised that his character has been responsible for stirring up quite the controversy on the show. Nevertheless, Branch is a man of passion. There is nothing he takes more seriously than his job and putting away bad guys. He has his eyes set on the sheriff, and it seems like to achieve his goals, he is willing to cross the lines at times, leaving fans in quite the disarray. One such moment is from the early seasons of the show when he captures a local payout dealer. Instead of following the procedure and dealing with him as the law says, Branch implements his own justice. Other times include when he forced his friends to commit perjury for him, and times when he invaded others' privacy for his own benefit, like when he went through Vic's laptop in the show. What's perplexing is that Branch feels justified in all of his actions as they bring about good. Suffice to say, fans were pretty happy when he was killed off. If you think that Branch's actions are too much for you to digest, then wait till you hear about the mob boss we have up next. Eddie Harp. Played by Dan Donahue, Eddie Harp is one of the biggest bands of the show during Season 5. He has stirred up trouble for Longmire as the head of an Irish mob. From committing murders to drugs, this guy has done it all. Despite his list of crimes, Sheriff Longmire is still set on saving him. He makes continuous efforts to appeal to his humanity. In one of those moments, we see Longmire remind him that there is still kindness left in him as he never stops sending checks to Longmire's parents. If he were all bad, then he wouldn't do that. By reminding him of his supposed other side, Longmire suspects him of turning over a new leaf, but he would soon find out that he is entirely wrong. Shortly after, Eddie reveals the shocking truth, which leaves poor old Sheriff looking quite stupid. He says that the accounts tied to those accounts are empty. Every time Longmire's parents headed to the bank, they most definitely returned empty-handed, meaning he never had any intention to help out his parents. It was an ongoing joke from him. Though that is the cruelest thing some of us can imagine doing to our relatives, is it something you would expect from a criminal mob mastermind? Fans have a hard time believing it. His actions did a good job of sparking some arguments in the fandom. In fact, to them, it's more of a childish prank than a crime. What exactly does he gain from doing this? A good laugh? Only the writers can tell us about that. And with that, our video comes to a close. Which moment had you the most baffled? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel before you leave. We'll see you next time with another video. Until then, goodbye.